Welcome to Smart Money. I'm Pat Boyle along with our host Julia Anderson, and today our guest is Bill Sickens, a tech expert. You can find him at wearetechnology.com on the web. We are going to have Social Media 101 today. I think there are people out there who still maybe aren't comfortable with Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and Bill's here to calm your fears.
Hopefully.
My first big question is, I feel abandoned on Facebook. Facebook is now only for baby boomers like me, and my kids and grandkids have gone somewhere else.
Yep.
Where have they gone?
Well, you know, it's a very interesting question because social media trends, just like fashion or anything else. And we started with MySpace years ago, if you even remember that. And that kind of became, or it didn't become Facebook, everybody moved to Facebook. Now it's a lot more Twitter, Instagram, and those type of things.
Okay.
And it's interesting because, like you say, Facebook has changed its demographic in the last few years a lot. And more than 65% of seniors now have Facebook accounts and use it as a form of
Really?
communication. In fact, it's the largest growing social media segment among seniors. And to look at it from a standpoint of getting new people, because that's how they grow,
Right.
is new users and that type of a thing. To see that change has been very, very interesting. But like you say, a lot of the younger generation is no longer using that as their platform. They've moved on to Twitter and some of these other things. And I think that's something that we'll continue to see. These things morph, but you'll also see people come back to it and that type of thing, and it just kind of changes with the times.
Well, I know my kids also were on Facebook, and I could kind of not stalk them is too strong of a word, but I could check up on them then.
Yeah,
And now,
and
they've,
now-
they've moved to Instagram. That's
Yeah.
where
Is that what it is?
I went on Instagram so I could see what my kids were up to, and that's how I find out. My husband, who is not on Facebook or Instagram or anything social media-wise, I'll say, "Oh, David went to the beach." He goes, "How do you know that?" He posted a picture on Instagram. But for seniors who maybe the 35, I can't do the math, 65 are on Facebook, the rest who aren't, how can you encourage them or walk them through how easy or how hard it is to set up a Facebook account and why it might benefit them?
Facebook is actually one of the most easy platforms to get on and get started with. And that's one of the things I think that attracts everybody, especially the senior segment, because you just go on, you sign up for an account, it takes under 5 minutes to go through and just put in the basic information and be able to get on and start finding your, what they call friends, which are the people that you're connected to and that you communicate with. Now, Facebook has two sides to it. Getting the basic account and actually going through and filling out the profile are two different things. And it's something that I also don't recommend doing, at least initially, until you get used to the platform. One of the problems with Facebook has been the ability for people to get out and to use the word stalk, find information about you, and get the information that you may not want to put out there. The younger generation puts their entire lives on social media, and it's something that I've never quite gotten into because it's like there's, you know, some things that you don't necessarily want to share publicly, and
You would think.
you would think, at least I would think, but they do. So when you go through and fill out your profile, just be aware of the information that you're actually putting out there, and that beyond your basic account, you really don't need to share anything to be able to use the platform.
Even like your birthday. I don't have my birthday on Facebook.
Birthday, I don't either. Place where I live, all of that kind of stuff. You know, that's nobody's business, and if they know me and are a real friend, they're going to know that anyway. But the ability to look you up, and then you can also send out friend requests to the people that you know on Facebook and be able to connect that way. But like I said, one of the problems with it is being able to avoid getting people that want to access things they shouldn't. Phishing scams, all that kind of stuff are a problem on social media. And just be aware of what you're posting and who you're communicating with, and actually know that that's really who they want to be. And if you get a random friend request from somebody that you don't know, delete it.
Delete.
Or at least be suspicious of it.
Yeah.
So what information should you put in your profile then? Just your name? And I have my birthday there, but I faked a year. Like,
Right.
oh yeah,
Did
I'm
you really?
120. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that in some cases it's a good idea to do it, or put a false birth date completely, because that way if someone contacts you and uses that birth date, not your real one, you know something strange is going on from the outset. Facebook does offer security, so you do have the ability to go in and control what information you do share. So if you do choose to put out some more personal information, but you want to restrict it to those that are friends of yours and that type of a thing and are linked, you can do that. So it's another thing to be aware of. This function is under your settings, and you can go in there and be able to define what gets shared with who. And then when you do put a post up, there's an option: does it get shared publicly? Does it get shared privately
everybody or
to
not?
friends? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And again, just being aware that those options are out there actually can make it a lot more secure and friendly environment to be able to work in.
Why don't we switch to Instagram now, which is my take on Instagram is that Facebook is so full of politics. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm finished with that. I'll go to Instagram and look at the pretty pictures.
Right.
What would be a benefit aside from that for being on Instagram?
Instagram primarily is a picture sharing site. That's how they started out.
Okay.
That's where the name
I
came
haven't
from.
made it to Instagram.
It's fun.
It's like, do I have any time for any more?
It's a happy place.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I'll do it.
Instagram actually is a lot of fun because, like you say, first of all, you don't have the posts, so you don't have the political stuff, at least not as much. I've seen some memes and stuff like that out there, a meme being a graphic that communicates something. So you don't completely get away from it, but it is definitely something that's a lot more fun. And Instagram has some unique features where you can put out a picture and promote or share that to other people that like it. Now, the internet, of course, is for sharing pictures of cats. We all know that. So your primary thing on Instagram is those kind of posts.
Do you have like friends on Instagram that you only are linked to certain
You have
people?
connections and you have people that follow you.
Okay.
So it's the same idea, but it's a little different way of implementing it.
Okay.
So, when you get out there, and that's the same thing with a platform like Twitter. People follow you, they follow what you post and that
Right.
type of
That's
a thing.
pretty straightforward.
It's pretty straightforward. The biggest difference is on Facebook, when you have a friend, you approve the friend request.
Right.
And on most of the other platforms, they're able to just follow you. There is a way to block people if you have a problem, and you need to do that, but you're not asked first. It's kind of like the phone company. Someone dials your number, they ring, no one asks you. So it's same idea, same way to look at it with these things.
Yeah, I've had some strangers want to follow me on Instagram. It's like, I don't know you. I don't want you looking at my pictures of cats or my grandson or
Right,
whatever. So
right.
just, you can get rid of them.
Okay.
And that is an area, it's just, again, it's a good idea to know what's going on. All of these technologies are wonderful. They're great tools for communication, but you do have to be aware of what's going on. And if you completely just kind of let it happen, that's when you can start to have some trouble.
We have just a few minutes left, which is good because we're talking Twitter, and that is a short communication form. Quickly tell us about Twitter.
Can I do that in 255 characters?
You better be able to.
Yeah.
Twitter, they actually don't restrict that anymore. Twitter is a platform that started out exactly with that. You would just put out a quick, what they would call a tweet, which was just an update on, I'm having pizza today or something like that. And it's really gained in popularity over the last few years. You now can do videos, you now can do pictures and all of that stuff with your tweets. The limit has been raised higher. I'm not sure what the characters are now, but it is more than what it originally was. Twitter was originally restricted to the same number of characters as a text message on a phone. That's where that number came from.
Oh.
And since then, this is all,
Did you know that?
This is new.
and that's where it was, kind of to keep a balance. You have followers, and when you go on Twitter, when you post something, it's sent out to all of those followers. There's also a promotion process that you can use on that to get more followers, so you gain from that standpoint. It's less of a tool for really remaining in contact and more for a tool for just putting out information
About something that's
about
going
something
on.
that people are interested in and they get.
I have one more question,
Okay.
and that's about text messaging. So the other thing, besides abandoning Facebook and disappearing, our kids don't answer the phone anymore. All of our chatting back and forth is all text messaging. Why is that?
This is an argument that
Why
my
is
parents and I have had many times. They don't text, I do. Now, I find I think I'm somewhere in the middle of this because there are times where a phone call is better, at least in my opinion.
Well, that's what my husband and I say every once in a while. This would have taken a lot less time if,
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Text messages is, I'm going to the beach today. You don't have the hello, how are you, and all, and you certainly don't have the please hold for the, that kind of a thing.
That's true.
The other thing that I've noticed from that too is a lot of companies that do text messaging, you get a lot faster response and without having to waste as much time with it. So it's just a platform to be able to send something that's quick. Now you can do pictures and all that kind of stuff too, which you can't do over a phone call. But it has its place. A lot of people use that a lot more now just because it is faster, but I still think a phone call has its place too. It's just depends on what you're doing.
Well, I think we've both been retrained by our kids. If you want to talk to them, you better text them because they're not going to pick up the phone.
Well, they don't even get the voicemail message for hours. I mean, they don't, but the text, right there, they're answering right back.
It's amazing. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Bill, thank you so much for your insights on social media
It's been a
101.
pleasure.
He is our tech expert, Bill Sickens, and you can find him at wearetechnology.com. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
For more information, go to my website at 60andsingle.com.